good morning, you guys. Hello, my name is Elizabeth. Wow, I never use my full name. It's too early. My name is Liz. Welcome to the Budget Bee. It is 6:52. Oh, I gotta get a new screensaver because it is no longer October. It's officially November. We're doing great this morning. Actually, I am doing great this morning because I bought this little whiteboard from like the Dollar Tree forever ago. I know, I shouldn't be going into the Dollar Tree because that store is my weakness. But I've been sticking, for the most part, to my morning plan. I got a 5-minute stretch in. I read for 15 minutes. I'm currently recording with you guys, and I woke up decently early. I woke up at, my goal was to wake up at 5:45. I think it was more like 5:55 or closer to 6, but either way, I'm doing pretty good this morning. So, and I have work soon, so I still need to finish getting ready for that. I wanted to take some time this morning and start a discussion on a couple of thoughts I've been having about the budgeting community and what experts tell us to do when we first start budgeting. So I'm going to start with this morning. It is just a motivational book that has just different quotes from all sorts of different people of all walks of life. And this is actually a gift that I got for the channel that I want to start doing in almost every one of my videos, where I'll at least give you guys like one quote from inside of here. So maybe it'll be something that you needed to hear that day, or maybe it's something I needed to hear that day. Who knows? But when I was flipping through last night just to see, you know, what kind of quotes are in here, there was one that kind of struck me with the book that I'm reading right now. And I always have some kind of book in the financial realm that I'm reading. But the quote of the day is, "A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan next week," by George S. Patton Jr., a U.S. Army general. He actually looked him up last night. He served in both World War I and in World War II, and he was like highly decorated. Really what this made me think about is what I've been reading lately. And a lot of times in financial books, I find that when they're talking to beginner budgeters, so people that have just either never written a budget before or have gotten completely off track and need to completely start over, they'll say, okay, what you need to do is you need to track the last 1 to 3 months of all of your expenses and see where your money was going. Okay, well, what are some pros if you do this? One is you'll know how much realistically you've been spending in a category. It also might allow you to see just where you're overspending in your budget. So you might not have realized that, oh hey, I've still got these subscription services from back when I was in college and thought these were a great idea. Yeah, you're still paying for those. Or, oh yeah, that magazine, you're still paying for that. Also, it might help you realize some hidden fees that you didn't realize you might be paying for. Like that ATM that you go to, you might not realize how many fees you're racking up every single month with that. So overall, I think that it can give you a lot of insight into just if you've completely lost track and you just have no clue where your money is going every month, that might actually give you quite a bit of insight into your finances. Now, I'm not a financial expert, so I am speaking from the experience of somebody that is 26 years old. I've paid off over $50,000 worth of debt. I am completely debt free, and I have been budgeting for years now. So, mind you, I'm 26, but I started budgeting when I was in college. I wasn't great at it at first. I And I've had to change my budget a lot of times because I'm young and my life circumstances right now, I'm not settled in my life. So my life circumstances are all over the place. And until I am settled, I won't have like a set budget. But what I can do is when I'm a month ahead of time, I'm giving myself time to be able to write the budget that is going to fit that lifestyle of that next season for me. I'm giving myself time to say, hey, okay, we have 1 month, this is how much money I need. Okay, this is how much my income is going to cover, and I just need a little bit more, so maybe I can pick up a little side hustle, or, you know, like do Instacart on the side for 1 month, or I can see about any cleaning jobs or anything else I can do to generate a little bit more income so I can meet the goals that I need to meet within the next month, right? So I love budgeting 1 month ahead of time, but that's not what this video is about. So what are some cons if you are a beginner budgeter and you decide to, you've never written a budget again, or you've been completely off track and you're starting over again? What are some cons to taking the time to look at the past month to 3 months of your expenses? Number one, the way that I view this whole concept is that it's a barrier to entry. I think that it makes it really tough for people who are trying to get back into the swing of things. I think it's a demotivator. That's just me, because it can take a lot of time. It can take an hour or more of your time, depending on how extensive your spending is, for you to look at all of this. Now, if you have a financial planner that you can just hand all the paperwork to and say, have at it, tell me what I've been doing, that's great. However, they're not going to be able to look at your Walmart receipt for $30 and say, oh yeah, $10 of that went towards groceries, 15 of that went towards X, and $5 of that went towards hygiene. You're not going to be able to tell that with your debit and your credit card slips. And a lot of the times when you've gotten completely off track, you're not saving your receipts, so you really have no clue still, even if you take that time and you're looking all the way back. Also, if you take money out at an ATM, you have no idea where that cash went. Again, unless you saved those receipts, and usually unless you've budgeted before, or unless you've been staying on top of it, which, I mean, maybe you have been, maybe you haven't, you have no idea, you may not have any clue where that cash spending has gone. So we've got your cash spending is an issue, your debit and your credit card statements are sure giving you some kind of information, but they're not giving you the whole picture. And 3, this is going to take quite a bit of time from you, depending again on how extensive your spending has been. Okay, so those are a lot of the cons, and I want to give you some solutions because I don't like videos that are just gonna present the problem but not give you solutions to that problem and what you can do instead. So if you are new to budgeting, or you just simply need to get back on track and you just don't know where to start, you should start with writing a budget and not tracking the last 1 to 3 months of your spending, because in my opinion, that's a complete waste of time. I did not do that when I was starting out in my financial journey, or any of the times when I restarted my financial journey. For me, it wasn't a one and done, now life is perfect and I know how to budget. No, I have restarted my financial journey multiple times, and it took a complete change in beliefs of how I viewed money in order for it to stick for me. So that is something that most likely you're going to have to do. You're going to have to look into your psyche a little bit and figure out, okay, what are the past beliefs I've had about money? What are maybe some fallacies I have about money? If you're somebody that is a really great saver, but you've never invested a dime, you know, what is that opportunity cost that you are risking in doing that, right? So you're going to have to look at your beliefs about money, and that is really going to, and like, shift them. in order to make a real lasting impact for yourself. So if you're going to just jump right in and write a budget, what are some rules you should be giving yourself? Number one, more debt is not an option. So you are going to stick within your income limits. So if you have 1 week to work with of income, or 2 weeks of income, or let's say you get paid only once for the entire month and that's it, that's all you got, you're sticking to it. You're not going over budget, because that is not an option anymore. Number two, you're going to track your spending as you go. This is going to make it really easy for you in the second month of you doing this to be able to say, oh yeah, I am way overspending in these categories. So this is going to help you do slowly and gradually all that work that the financial experts are saying, do this right away before you even write a budget. And I'm saying, no, write a budget, then track, going from there, because you've already decided going on to this financial journey that things are going to be different for you. So you need to start tracking it now, and now start seeing going forward what you're doing. I still look at back. I'm a pen and paper girl. I write it in this very notebook, and I will write down every single thing that I'm spending money on, and I can go back to it and say, oh, in this month I actually didn't allocate funds to, I don't know, clothing, and there was no reason for me to. I didn't spend any money in that category. I did great. So, you know, what happened this month that all of a sudden I needed to add more funds to that? And I can really start to pinpoint out how certain fears or pressures might affect my budget. I am going to recommend that if you're just starting out, stay away from all the noise and the clutter through the budgeting apps, the Excel spreadsheets. Stay away from all of it. For the first month of budgeting at least, be a pen and paper person. I promise you, you're most likely going to save a lot of time doing this, because the setup process for writing down a pen and paper budget takes way less time than needing to upload all of your bank account information, than needing to create that spreadsheet. Even if you use one from like another YouTube channel, there's plenty of free resources out there. But you're gonna end up tinkering with that Excel spreadsheet. You might lose some of your numbers along the way, and it is just a lot of clutter and noise, especially for your first month of really getting serious and budgeting. So for the first month, be a pen and paper person, write it down, track it all, don't forget to do that, and start with your needs. So first you're gonna list out all of your needs. So I have grown up learning about Dave Ramsey, so you are going to want to stick to his 4 basic principles of your needs. I will list those here on the screen. So start with these, and then start to add in more from there, as much as your budget will allow. But I do recommend saving a little bit of money if you can, even if it's $5 for a miscellaneous fund that first month of you doing this. That miscellaneous fund is not really meant to be a fun spending category, or just for you to spend willy-nilly, or at the end of the month if you have that $5 left over. If you want to reward yourself with it, go for it, but I recommend setting that aside and saving that even into your emergency fund, or letting that roll over into the next month. The reason that I recommend having a miscellaneous fund, especially in that first month of budgeting, is you might get something wrong. You might think that you only are going to spend, I don't know, $200 a month on food, but that might end up being unrealistic for you. And either what you can do is shift your budget around, make sure that it's flexible in some ways. For example, if you have a clothing category and you don't actually need clothes and you can make what you have work for the month, then maybe you'll take that clothing budget and you'll use it to pay for the additional food that you might need for you and your family. right? So make sure that your budget has some flexibility in it if you can, even if it's just a $5 miscellaneous fund that is going to give you just that little bit of extra support in case you forgot something, because it's your first month of budgeting. It is okay. And that's another thing I want to say. Take the pressure off of yourself. This is not meant to be perfect. This is meant to help you start to get intentional about your budgeting. It is supposed to help you start getting intentional, start to track, and start to get into a really good routine and flow of looking over your finances regularly. Now, how often should you be looking at it? That's completely up to you. What I'm comfortable with, once a month I will write a mock budget for the following month ahead. I will write my solidified budget for the current month, and then at least once a week I will track down all of my expenses and update myself on where I'm at within all of my different categories. Am I staying up to date? Have I overdrawn in any of these categories? Do I need to be flexible and change some things around? Am I going to need to use that miscellaneous fund? What do I need to do? So I will look at that at least once a week. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope that this gave you some useful tips and information if you're starting out with budgeting. I also hope that, you know, this can be a healthy discussion that we can have down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that you should be looking back at your past 1 to 3 months of expenses when you first start? Or do you feel more comfortable just getting started? Even the fact that you're taking this step, you know, did it take you so long to get here that you're just like, you know what, I need to start, otherwise I'm not gonna do it? So what do you guys think? Let me know. Sorry for the train in the background. It is now 7:11, so the hustle and the bustle is starting. I'm sure you've been hearing the cars this whole time. But I just wanted to congratulate you guys for watching the video and for just taking any first steps that maybe you haven't before into taking control of your finances again and just giving yourself more opportunities in the future. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.